News when you want it with Bloomberg News Now. I'm Nathan Hager.
And I'm Karen Moscow.
Karen, we begin with the latest on the trade front. The U.S. and China have wrapped up 2 days of talks in Stockholm, Sweden. The Chinese trade negotiator says they agreed to extend their 90-day tariff truce, but the U.S. side says China may have jumped the gun on that. Here's Treasury Secretary Scott Bessent.
The Chinese deputy minister did say that we had agreed on a pause. We have not. Nothing is agreed until we speak with President Trump.
Treasury Secretary Scott Bessent says extending the pause another 90 days could be an option. That could clear the way for President Trump to visit China in late October and meet with President Xi Jinping.
Meanwhile, Nathan, the U.S. and India are racing to negotiate a trade deal before this Friday's deadline. President Trump says he may settle on a 20 to 25% tariff rate on India, though that is not final.
India's been a good friend, but India has charged basically more tariffs than almost any other country.
President Trump spoke with reporters on board Air Force One on his way back from Scotland. Even if the president follows through on higher tariffs, sources tell Bloomberg News, India plans to keep negotiating on a bilateral trade deal by the fall.
Well, Karen, we're monitoring a dangerous situation out west. A massive earthquake off Russia's Far East has sparked tsunami alerts across the Pacific. Hawaii is seeing 4-foot waves, and parts of Northern California and Washington State have recorded tsunami waves as well. Honolulu Mayor Rick Blangiardi warned residents to stay alert.
Pay attention. This is real, and it's most serious. And if they happen to be watching, we don't have these events very often, but when we do, they're real and they're serious. So we just ask you to pay attention and do what you've been asked to do, and we're all going to hope for the best.
Honolulu Mayor Rick Blangiardi told people to stay off the beaches and head for higher ground. This morning, some of the tsunami alerts in Hawaii have been downgraded to advisories. That's allowing residents to return home. The quake was a magnitude 8.8 off the Russian coast. That is the strongest since 2011.
Now to Manhattan, Nathan, and tighter security and grief are still gripping the financial industry following the deadly shooting in Midtown. Bloomberg's John Tucker joins us with more. John, good morning.
And good morning, Karen. At 345 Park Avenue, a shattered plate glass window now boarded up, and bouquets of flowers mark the spot of the worst mass shooting in New York City in a quarter of a century. Mayor Eric Adams surveyed the carnage.
This senseless act of violence, as the police commissioner and I walked through the building and saw the blood trails and the videos of the level of violence that I have not witnessed at that level before.
Well, many employees praised how their bosses handled the initial report of a gunman. Kathleen Benatti is one of them.
Our fire and safety director for the building immediately came on and said to shelter in place.
Well, some were too petrified to leave their hiding spots at first. Others would only leave around 11 p.m. as police continue to sweep each floor. Blackstone's offices will remain closed this week. It's unclear when they'll reopen. Authorities still trying to figure out how the shooter obtained the gun used in the attack, an M4-style rifle. They say his coworker at a Las Vegas casino purchased the lower receiver. A note from the gunman found in Las Vegas reportedly includes an apology to his parents. According to ABC, the gunman's father is a retired Los Angeles police officer. In New York, I'm John Tucker, Bloomberg Radio.
Okay, John, thank you. Let's turn to markets and the economy now. Federal Reserve policymakers are not likely to change the benchmark interest rate today as they wait for more details on how President Trump's tariffs will affect the economy. Bloomberg's Michael McKee has a preview.
The outlook for U.S. inflation and growth is murky at best, but just days before the Trump import tax increase goes into effect, companies are offering support for the idea of no Fed rate cut today. UPS is offering no earnings guidance, and Procter & Gamble says they will be raising prices to account for tariffs. So the question today is, what will Jay say? We may see the first double dissent by Fed governors since 1993. Will that suggest, or will the Fed chair offer support for a September cut, or explain what the central bankers would have to see to entertain the possibility? Michael McKee, Bloomberg Radio.
All right, Mike, thanks. Join us for our complete coverage of the Fed decision and Powell News Conference on a special edition of Bloomberg Surveillance beginning at 1:30 p.m. Wall Street time on Bloomberg Radio and Television and the Bloomberg Podcast channel on YouTube.
Nathan, it's another big day for earnings with more than 50 companies in the S&P 500 reporting. Mag 7 will once again lead the way with both Microsoft and Meta on the docket. And we get a Microsoft preview with Bloomberg's Tom Busby.
Microsoft expected to post a 14% rise in sales thanks to its cash cow Azure cloud computing unit, which is expected to show a 34% spike in revenue in just the last 3 months. Also helping earnings, its partnership with ChatGPT maker OpenAI, which is helping Microsoft emerge as a leader in commercializing artificial intelligence. Investors also eager for an update on its planned CapEx, estimated to be a record $23 billion last quarter to keep up with rivals. Bloomberg consensus calls for total revenue of $73.89 billion and earnings per share of $3.97. Tom Busby, Bloomberg Radio.
And that's news when you want it with Bloomberg News Now. I'm Karen Moscow.
I'm Nathan Hager, and this is Bloomberg.